Hey, pod viewers. Give me a moment to do the announcements. One moment. The delay on YouTube seems to be a lot shorter these days. I don't know if it just gets desynced over time or what. I noticed it wasn't so bad the other time we played. Dude, I started the other stream with this fucking set. Ho-Ho EDM medley. Why future bass style? It's fucking banger. Alright, I'm guessing you can hear me over the music. If not, I'll lower it. Let's see. Got Sprite open in the front of everything. There we go. What the fuck were we doing last time? I've basically forgotten. Let me have a remember. It, my beloved. Improved camera and refactored character animations. Oh yeah. Thank you, Git commit messages. Yeah, that was it. We spent like 2 or 3 hours doing camera stuff and then like a hot minute doing what's the word? Character stuff. Yeah, this was it. We added. Oh, I remember. At the end of the other stream, we were working out how we wanted to do animations when you were shooting or something. We had like some issue where it would look like you were. Yeah, this was it. We want you to like run backwards. We want you wanted your animation to be reversed if you were moving backwards and stuff. Anyway, whatever we had here looked great. I think we had individual frame rates and stuff per animation as well. That's pretty cool. So we have a few things we can get started on today. Let me think. Where do I actually want to start? I wanted to do this mini-map at some point. There's a few ways we can get around to that, but basically I wanted to circumvent this small resolution we've got by having a nice mini-map on the screen. That was one thought we had. Another thing we could consider is adding, doing a bit more work on the guns. Like right now, your gun is just a stream of bullets. It would be nice maybe if they had a bit of randomness on them, because otherwise this is obviously quite broken. I think the guns need to have a little bit more skill involved in aiming them. Whether or not it's a pattern that goes left to right to left that you learn, or if it's just a random spray, I don't really know. I don't think it really matters for now. If I remember correctly, there's also a number of things that we might want to extract to our menu, our MGUI menu, this thing. I don't know why this thing doesn't seem to be saving anymore. You used to be able to move the position and it would actually stay there. Oh no, it still is. Okay, I'm full of shit. What to do? Well, one thing we could also do is work on having enemies actually have the right, A, the right spawn coordinates, and B, the right size. I think 32 by 32 is unlikely. Well, although we'll have some enemies that are this big, so maybe it doesn't matter. I think I don't want to do like a big sprite redraw until I'm actually more certain about the vibe of the game, so I'm just using these old ones. Switching off the Pokemon ones sooner than later might be better though. It's not really a priority for today. We also had like some very basic XP system I was going to work on, where you had levels that scale, and when you kill stuff you get XP, and then occasionally you'll get like some item, some upgrade. And I think that will be a separate system to like the relic system, or whatever I'm going to call it. Mutations, you know. You'll have like big game-breaking upgrades, like, I don't know, all your bullets home or whatever, but then you'd also have like minor just stat upgrades and stuff. I think that stuff can be tied behind XP pretty well. And it also means you aren't disappointed when you get a relic that says like +1 attack, because instead the relic would say like does burning damage, but the +1 attack thing would be tied to XP. That's my thought. We have a number of things we can do. I already want to start on the mini-map as a question. Don't I had an interesting idea the other day where we could just render the world. Hey, Tom Bowser. We could just render the world in like a second view. My thought was basically for the mini-map just to do the same sort of iteration we do in render actor system, or indeed even just do it in render actor system, and just render them to the top right of the screen as dots, as opposed to their actual sprite on the screen. How you doing, Bowser? Let's have a look. So for like, here we go. We're rendering entities in here. Warm. We have. Let's see. This loop here. Great music. This thing here. You're enjoying your Easter holiday. How are you? I'm okay, thank you. It's been okay. My stomach's been hurting the last few days, but it's feeling a bit better today. Can you hear me over the music? Maybe not if I zoom out. Anyway, I've got tea. My thought is we've got this function here called world to screen position. We're already doing some transform on the position. I see no reason that we couldn't somehow restrict this further to a, like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure the minimap's like 48 by 48. Restrict it to like a smaller area and then just render that position elsewhere. If that makes sense. You can turn the volume up. You're a bit quiet but louder than the music. Alright. Let's see. Let me think for just a moment. I've also got Sprite open. Oh, this is bugged out. Right. We have a this isn't it. Or maybe I didn't save it. I thought it had a file that was like that doesn't matter. Hang on a moment. Let me just take a screenshot. I thought we had a file that was like mock-up. I might have not saved it. Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna get a screenshot. My streak. Can't believe it, Bowser. Just half this. No. Good enough. It's a rough thing for now anyway. I just want to know roughly where this is. I'm pretty sure this whole thing is quite simple. What am I drawing with? An invisible line. Interesting. Anyway, it should be the same x coordinate as this health, minus like, what's this? 32, 24, and then I'm pretty sure this chunk in here is roughly 48 by 48. Come on. Oh no, this is 64. 64 by 64. Okay, that's fine. So we want to get a... Interesting. Let me think. No, this isn't going to be it. I'm curious if I just draw them up there as a dot. So, for example, right now we have a position. This is the actual position on the screen. We need to zoom out, if that makes sense. If you just divide coordinates by a number, how does that work? Hang on, what's... For example, if we had something at minus 100 or plus 100 and we divide that by 2, it squishes it into minus 50 or 50. So if I just divide the position by some amount, that squishes it towards 0, but maybe that's not terribly useful. We want it to be centered around the player, not 0. So one thing you could do is... That would be a little expensive, but you could calculate the distance from the... Or like the distance and the position from the player, and then draw them there, divided by some number. But that seems like an unnecessary calculation. I think there is definitely a way to convert from a coordinate to a smaller space. Blink twice have done it's forcing you to stream ++. It's me forcing myself to stream C++. I'm gonna just Google this quickly. I'm looking for like some ideas. C++ game minimap transform position to smaller one. I don't know. Maybe there's like an obvious answer. What I don't want is to just immediately calculate it based off the player. Okay, these people are doing some maths. Which is like a nice example. This isn't very helpful. You can overlay it as a... yeah. Okay. This person's basically saying what I suggested. They're saying in their case, if the world is 100 by 100 and the map's 32 by 32, then you divide your coordinate by 100 and times it by 32 to get a position on the minimap. But our world does not have a defined size. Plus, we're looking for more of a relative view than a... I think having the idea of having a second camera basically just sticking on the minimap makes the most sense. I think that's what you do in 3D at least. You normally have basically like another camera above, right? How expensive would that be? C++, doesn't have to be C++, but transform, no, that's not really what I want. Well, let's just experiment before we get too excited. Const auto position equals, whoops, just zoomed in. I don't know. Let's not do that because it's const, obviously. Now, if we were to pop it in here, this I should imagine would draw a duplicate of that mob at that spot, kind of near 0. I think this might not work long term, based on what I said earlier. But I'm just curious. I also pop in a rectangle instance. I guess that's what we're doing with this stuff. Let's just see. What I think should happen is all the enemies right now will be... There will be a ghost of the enemy drawn like around 0, 0. I guess it's actually around the 0 position on the screen. That's interesting. So if I instead of 0, 0, if it's doing a divide, this in here. Hey, potatoes.
Wall hee hee.
Just curious. How are you doing, potatoes? Okay. I don't know. I don't think this is doing quite what I want. I think this is indeed pushing everything towards 0. The player obviously isn't 0. Okay, just curious. I just wanted to mess around, I guess. This is obviously not the right way to go. And what we can do while we're here, though, is think about what... Rather well. Oh, that's good to hear. What have you been up to? I was thinking I could just quickly make a sprite. I don't know, 8 by 8. Just to represent a dot in the minimap. Actually, I want it like this. Come on. 8x8 is going to be annoying because they don't have a center. So let's actually make you... Actually, 8x8 is fine. It doesn't matter. It might be too big, actually. No, I'm right. 6x6? What have you been up to, potatoes? Yeah, that looks better. Let's just go with this. That looks nice. Export as... Put that into textures for now and just call it HUD.red. And then we'll have a blue. I'll export as HUD.blue, and I'll make a green one. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. We could make it into a sprite sheet. Let's just do it like this for now, just to have something to fuck with. Circle texture, how about instead of you? What is circle texture? This. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna have HUD dot, again, just to experiment with. We'll do something proper in a moment. Working mostly, but you've joined a band. Oh, sick. What would you play? I don't know, I'm just experimenting. I was going to experiment with the minimap. Yeah, I was, you heard some vague muttering about cameras in the background while holding King's Row last. I'm currently wondering what a nice way to render the minimap would be, and I have two thoughts. One of them is to have a secondary camera that's just positioned on the right side. And the other one is to, in here, when we're rendering the actors, we've already got the positions and the entities and stuff, right? We perform some operation, this obviously isn't correct, but we perform some kind of operation on their coordinate to shrink it down, like you're zooming out, and then we add that to move it to the top right. Because our game works in negative XY, I think by dividing something, we just get a coordinate close to 0, rather than focused around the player. So I thought maybe you could perform some operation where you work out the offset from the player, because that's where we care, or the screen offset, and then you perform a shrinkage based off that, if that makes sense. I think you stop using actual camera 2D for positioning at some point. Sure. I don't fully remember how the camera works, I'll be honest. I think right now we're currently rendering stuff off screen. Or at least we're not rendering stuff off screen, but we're calling this draw function on stuff off screen. T. Anyway. I was having a Google earlier to see what operation I could use, and I'll get back to that in a second. I just wanted to basically use this. So I want to draw a red dot at whatever position we're calculating here. Let's just say it's here. Size doesn't matter. Origin should already be this, I thought. Oh, maybe not with a rectangle instance. Color doesn't need to exist. This should draw a little red dot around the middle. The camera is always at 0, 0, and you're shifting everything is being drawn manually instead. I think that could be correct. Hang on a moment. A dot red is not in. What did I call it? HUD data textures. HUD dot. Oh, dot PNG. Okay, well, regardless, to draw a minimap, what you do is render everything a second time, but with a different viewport and zoom scale. Viewport is a separate concept from camera. So I'm guessing that the viewport is what you're... the information you're providing to the camera, or what? In, the viewport is the region of the frame buffer you're rendering to. Okay. These are not red dots. Why are you not red dots? Oh. You think I should do that as opposed to this? In this case, you want a viewport position up where the minimap's supposed to be. Okay. These little red dots are kind of funny. Wait, how incorrect is it to just divide by like some number? Obviously they're like... I wish I knew where the player was in this case. I'm sure your thing is correct. I'm kind of curious. Where's the player? Local player. I just want to know actually how this current thing I've got is working. I don't know if this is necessarily the player, but really just curious. Where's the player amongst this mass? Oh, it's this thing. I don't want you to... I want you to be HUD.blue. Are you not blue? Kind of weird to me that it's already zoomed out quite so much. The player is this one. I'm not... Oh, I guess it's red just because the other thing is drawing on top of it. Don't know if you're essentially performing a second zoom scale again at the end of everything. Yeah. I mean, hang on. Is what I've got here already reasonable? Just to... This already kind of looks like how I want it to look, if that makes sense. Am I... Oh, actually, this is obviously isn't the right position at all, is it? I'm guessing the viewport would be nice because it would give me culling for free. World to screen position already has a division, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I've spent about 2 minutes on this, so don't discern too much from what I've done here. I just wanted to see what this looked like, I'll be honest. That's why you're... I mean, let's have a look. So currently we get a unzoomed pixels from center based on the position of them, and we minus the view center off of it. So this is us turning it into the view center, like a screen position. We then draw... Oh, hang on, actually. Zoom scale. Yeah. Multiplication, which is even better. tile size thing. Or you mean this? Yeah. Okay. So let me think. If we were to have a second viewport, how does that work? Currently, I guess the player has a viewport. Local player has a viewport. And how does that work? How are we using that in here? We're not. We're just using this function to tell us where within the viewport that is. Where should be adjusting for the second drawer is that. Yeah, different scale, I guess. And we could perhaps hardcode that. If in the case that we end up having like a weapon that lets you zoom out like a bit or whatever. Or a boss spawns in or something. I don't really want that to adjust how the minimap renders. So hang on, I'm not made such a stupid idea after all. How is this player viewport being used right now? Is it just being used to give positions within that viewport? Surely it's being it's being rendered too in here. Okay, so what's the value in having a second viewport instead of just doing it in the system where we're already iterating over? We're already iterating over the entities we want to draw. Is it just the fact that you can maybe flip stuff within that viewport? Because I could have a function in local player called like get minimap position. What's the value in not doing it? To me, it seems like two ways to do something, but I'm not sure why one's better than the other. So on one hand, we just have a function that does what we're currently doing in this experiment and just gives us a position on the screen for an entity that you pop in. This is what viewports were invented for. Okay. Currently we have quite a one viewport system though, right? Or do we have another one somewhere else? I'm not arguing with you, by the way. I agree. Like, it can make sense to me. I'm just saying that maybe it's worth thinking about all the options first. How about we have a minimap component with its own viewport? I don't know if the local player needs to hold on to the minimap. Should the minimap exist without the player? Probably not, right? Ideally, your system's display functions could be parameterized on the viewport. They are. You pass in which viewport you want to render to. You can pass in different viewports. That's true. Does the viewport have a particular... I guess it does have a position, right? The work is already done. So, is there an extra expense? Surely there's an extra expense from iterating twice over the same set. Because as it is now, render, draw 2D actors or whatever, it's iterating all of these actors. Surely having a second loop after is just doing a bunch of work again. Question mark. I understand that's what entity is about, but surely reducing the amount of iterations is best. Popping the pixels would be more expensive. Am I overrating how expensive it is to iterate over a for loop? Because to me it feels weird to basically just constantly have these loops everywhere. It needs synchronization. I suppose so. You see why I'm trying to maybe at least think about restricting the number of loops we're doing there, right? Anyway. How about we simply add a minimap viewport somewhere? I mean, the minimap viewport could just be held on the local player. I'll be real. I don't think we need a new component for it. To me, if the player exists, and they're drawing the playable level, then they should probably also have the minimap available. I can't really think of an example when they wouldn't. It's only as unreasonable as the task it's accomplishing, drawing every entity, which is perfectly reasonable to do twice for different purposes. Okay, that's good advice then. Maybe I'm over-optimizing, or at least thinking about over-optimizing. How about this then? Let's keep it simple. Let's have a viewport called minimap viewport. Probably should refactor this, if only the refactoring tool worked, to be play area viewport. We can do this again and have a look in here. What do we care about? So we need to create an integer scaled. Oh, okay. This is to get like a integer scaling on our viewport, so we aren't like 1.5 pixels wide by 1.5 pixels. So we'll go from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, etc. Good old integer scaling pixels. Okay. Oh, we've already got that, so that's nice. That being said, viewport is always actually going to be 64 by 64 multiplied by screen size. So I suppose we could do it like this. New minimap viewport. And for now, I'm just going to pop this in here. No, I'm going to pop it in here. Screen size, blah. Minimap size. Let's extract it. 64 by 64. We'll pop it down here. I would like to have the minimap position in here as well. Maybe I'll have it under this stuff. Minimap size is here. And we'll sort out the position in a moment. New scale. Well, new minimap. I mean, I could even just do this, right? If I wanted to not to do as lazy as possible, right? Who cares, right? So I want minimap size. Minimap viewport is this. Camera scale, I guess I don't have to worry about, and you I don't have to worry about. I don't exactly know what new scale needs it to be either. Do we need to hold on to that? Probably. Is that going on to... It's going on to camera scale. Is that used for anything? Doesn't seem to be. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it for now then. I think as far as we care about, we want to scale the minimap with the view size, basically. What's this? Most 3D games nowadays will draw everything twice to do a depth repass, for example. The only point of that is to reduce fragment shader invocations, and it's worth it. We're not talking about millions of entities, more like hundreds of thousands. A couple of linear loops over that is nothing compared to the invocation of an expensive algorithm or something. That's true. I mean, even when we just come to doing like a star algorithm, that'll have a handful of cycles, and that's quite a lightweight algorithm. And that'll have a handful of cycles dedicated to it, certainly. Anyway, whatever. We have a minimap viewport. As for the position, I guess we still have the one camera. That's fine. Where are we moved? Does the viewport not have a? The viewport is just an abstract place somewhere in memory that we're drawing to, right? It doesn't necessarily have a position yet. It's up to the camera to decide where to put that buffer, right? I don't really remember this. You render stuff to the camera. How do you define where to put it? It's a position plus size. How do you decide where to put within the camera? I shouldn't need a separate camera for the minimap, right? I should be able to render that to the same camera as What is a camera? View projection matrix. Defining a perspective for a render to render from. Maybe I should have a second camera. Create a camera with an orthographic position. You can use the same camera. Okay, I guess it's just an orthographic camera anyway. This doesn't have a position then. Or is it just so happens to be at 0, 0. Like this. It'll affect the zoom scale though. We don't seem to be using camera scale for anything. View zoom scale is the thing that we seem to be using instead. That's weird. Well, anyway, separate camera might be better because the aspect ratio will probably be different. Yeah, the minimap's 1x1. The main thing will be 16:9. I'm wondering what maths is performed upon this. Do you do multiplications and divisions and stuff? Definitely a separate camera. Camera and viewport feel awfully similar. I guess viewport is literally like the thing you're painting to, and then camera is more of like an abstract thing that you don't draw to. You don't draw to a camera, right? Defining the perspective for a renderer to render from. A camera is a view projection matrix and a view matrix. So like the idea being like, you can see this, you have some world and your camera is somewhere and it's looking at, this is for a 3D game I guess. Your camera has some perspective. This defines what region of space you want to draw. And then this will perform the nice operations to turn it into this shape. And then what the viewport is the actual stuff that you're drawing in here, or what? Oh, I misunderstood that. I guess in this case our world is, if we can draw it to represent our world, if this is top down, then the camera is here, but surely the viewport is also here. View matrix transforms from world to view space, projection matrix from view space to clip space. So world space is this, something's at coordinate level 1000 by 1000 or 20,000 by 20,000. The view matrix says, oh, that's actually based on where the camera is, you actually draw those pixels at 32 by 32 on our screen here. Anyway, mini-map camera. Still don't think camera scale is really being used. Still not really sure what camera scale is for. I feel like we could delete this and it wouldn't change anything. I guess this is one of the problems with using like a framework, because I haven't built the camera system, I don't really understand how it works. Which is good and bad. It's nice that I don't have to worry about it, but it's annoying because I would like to know more. But just using it, you'll never know as much as if you've actually built it. get me. Reading and talking is all well and good, but if you've actually written it, that's pretty invaluable. Maybe a project one day. In 2D, you're generally using orthographic projection, which I am doing. Where the projection transformation from view to clip basically just takes your pixel values from 0 to 800 or whatever and turns them into -1 to 1. Yeah. Okay. -1 to 1? Does that mean that your screen is from 0 in the center to 1 top right and -1 bottom left or whatever? Question mark. Alright, let's see. The view matrix lets you shift stuff around, but you're not using that anymore. Yeah, I'm not using that, I guess. Okay, let's see. So after we rendered the actors, the world overlay, and the HUD, I'm going to ask... Let's just do draw minimap. Local player dot. Minimap viewport. Minimap camera. You learned about the Moira Shrine April 1st thing. I thought you were talking about the older takedown. No, I was talking about the newer thing, but apparently it's back now. Clip space is always -1 to 1, and then the viewport defines how that gets transformed back to the screen. Okay. So you're sort of normalizing might not be the word, because you're doing -1, but you're basically normalizing from some enormous world coordinate to this -1 to 1 space, and then you're performing some maths on that to find your space within the actual resolution you're drawing to. So 1280 by 720 or whatever. 000 would be half of whatever 1280 by 720 is. This page is helpful. Thank you. I'm gonna pop this in my browser so I can read this later. That's my Twitch chat. That's fine. I wish OBS hadn't tried to integrate its own browser. Alright, thanks. I should definitely do an OpenGL project. I feel like I'm missing a lot of knowledge. Some pictures for the different transformations there. I'll have a quick look now. I was going to read it in depth later. I see. Alright, I'm not going to read through this whole page now, but this looks like just the right thing I need to read. I'm also a big fan of pictures. They're using like the lol what face, man, old. Okay. I'm aware of what orthographic and I don't know what the other one's called. I'm aware of what an orthographic view is. What's the normal view called? Perspective. Yeah, okay. I'm aware of the difference between perspective and orthographic views, just from having watched a lot of like game dev stuff on YouTube. If you wanted to make like an isometric game in like a 3D engine, it's pretty common to do orthographic. I mean, that's a stupid way to say that. Isometric games are orthographic. Like stuff at the top has no perspective, so stuff at the top is the same size as stuff at the bottom and the left and the right. But with perspective, you'd imagine stuff to be smaller the further away they are. Weird way to describe it, but you know me. Alright, so we got trill detail, this thing. So we got draw minimap. I'm gonna go to render actor system. Render HUD. Honestly, it's still kind of part of the HUD. Yeah, I think this is okay. Sorry, am I losing my fucking mind? I am. Instead of using a zoom scale, you could specify a smaller or larger region for the 1x1 camera you use, and that will get scaled into your minimap viewport automatically, instead of being more or less zoomed in. So instead of 64x64, I'd specify like 256x256 or something. And then when we downscale that to fit within the 64x64 region, it does that for us. Let me just grab this enemy loop for now. So currently, I'm gonna pop this on the right. Whoops. We're gonna loop over. What's wrong, little guy? Unused variable. That's fine. I'm gonna grab. Just grab this out of there for now. I guess I should also move that dot thing in here. I probably will move this to an actual sprite sheet at some point, but for now I just wanted to fuck around. Okay. So I've moved stuff over, and without changing anything, you want local player. Let's see. So right now we're iterating over every entity with a sprite and a transform. So that includes the player, by the way. And we're drawing this dot somewhere. This position thing is not correct right now. We need to have a new function in here, or at least something we pass in to multiply by a different scale. Or alternatively, we have a different function just called like, whoops. Instead of world to screen back, we'd have like world to minimap position or something. Because that's basically all it will be used for. And we can hard code it, because the minimap should always have the same scale. Whatever it is. I don't know. Or why do you need a separate function for that? I mean, we could have a parameter in here, but we're using this function in a million places. 10 places. So instead of refactoring it in 10 places, I can just have a second function. Or indeed, I could even just call that. You know? Now we have something with a word that we can call. You know? The minimap shouldn't need my knowledge right now. I just set view scene scale on the local player to be different while you're drawing the minimap. Surely we want what I've written. Sorry. View zoom scale. This is the one that we originally were changing with scroll wheel in and out. In fact, yeah, I'd actually rather this wasn't even involved. It should always be ×1. And you can reuse the same drawing code. Reuse the same drawing code. Do you just mean like... I'm not drawing the enemies as their sprites in the minimap, by the way. I'm drawing dots. So I do need to have some kind of different logic in the minimap versus like literally just calling the exact same like render actor system code or whatever. Drawing all this, I don't want to do this. You don't want the world background. Pardon? Maybe you've missed or I've explained that the minimap was quite literally just going to be like a black square with a bunch of dots in it. Like a dot here, dot here, dot here, dot here, dot here. Your player's in the middle. And then as you move around, you know, you'll move a bit to the left. There'll be some new dots that have appeared. And the ones on the right you can't see anymore. Right? Yeah? I have a feeling you're trying to give suggestions based on something that doesn't fit the spec I'm providing. I'm not just drawing like a smaller version of the game, if that's what you were thinking. Like the idea being with the minimap, your player would always be in the middle, and the enemies would show at a zoomed out level like this. And then in the actual gameplay, you'd see something like this. Let me think. You can see this, can't you? Your player is like this. There could be an enemy here. You can just about see that one. You get it? So like from this perspective to the minimap, you're actually seeing about. Okay, that red should be a little bit further over, like that maybe. The mini-map is basically like showing you like a zoomed out perspective of the game. Like that. So you can see a little bit around the edge of the screen. You asked if you want the world as the background in a different stream. I don't remember that. So maybe I misunderstood your question. Or you asked something else. Do you see what I mean though? Like the greater world will have many enemies in it. The actual game you can see is a really small space, and the minimap's meant to just show you a little bit outside the edges of your screen as a dot. And you know, if there's an item on the floor, it will just show up as like green or something. So you can just see, oh, I need to go to the bottom right to pick that up. You get me? I hope this makes sense. It makes sense in my head. If you were to reuse the same drawing code, you could pick and choose which parts. You get the idea. I was asking about the specifics. Okay, that's good. Reuse the same drawing code. You can pick and choose which parts to draw later. So this is why earlier I was asking about having like just looping again a second time or not. I guess if we're having a complete second call with a second viewport, then we're doing that anyway. But it made sense to me to just have this for loop once, and then within that for loop, while we're already in here, get all the transforms and pop those in the minimap, but you were suggested against that. So I've extracted it to a different function to render the HUD. I'm a little confused. Sorry. A key thing I'm trying to do, which I think you also know, is like with the zoom out basically is to show you more, but within a smaller space. So we're trying to compact the world a little bit. And then only show you like a slice of it. And then use that information to draw dots. And right now, I think it can be super basic. Like, whatever loop we had in here, wherever it was, like this sort of thing, just going over all entities for now could do. The idea was to call to literally the same function, have conditionals to filter out. Aren't conditionals in loops? It's better to just not have them in the first place with entity. Like, I could have a loop here that is excluding the player, for example, and then just draw red dots, and then I can have search for the player as well and draw that, and then have one that's like just items, for examples. enemy behavior or whatever. So this would only be enemies. That I thought would be better, right? Having a view on all the enemies, all the players, and all these. Something like is minimap will be really likely to be something like is minimap will be branch predicted correctly. Is that maybe overthinking things? Is starting to think about branch prediction. If you said earlier that like none of this even compares to performing like a single heavy algorithm, maybe this isn't worth worrying about so much. Maybe something that's readable matters most. Right now we have this rather big render actors function, and I think cluttering this with a bunch of conditionals, even more than we already have, is not as readable as just having a function called draw minimap that draws the minimap. It's essentially false, false, false for ages followed by true, true. How does branch prediction work? Because I thought that was architecture defined. And it's annoying to rely on. Readable larger than early authorization. That's basically what I'm getting at. If we have a function called draw minimap that draws the minimap, I prefer that even if it's 0.05% less optimal as like using a branch predicted loop. Do you not tend to extract that much, Donut? I haven't read your Donut 3 stuff in a while. Would you not immediately have thought to want to extract early? Because I already think what I've got here is kind of ass. Like this is ripe for being repaired. You'd assume that having it in the same function would be easier. This function's already like 200 lines long. I think this is setting off red flags in my head. Let's see. Look, this is not even the discussion we're having here is wasting more electricity than would be fixed by choosing the optimal solution. So let's have a look. When we're drawing the minimap, we're passing in the viewport for the HUD. Also, hello, Lux. We're getting the position. I don't think we don't still need to do this stuff because I was gonna have my own function and then you spoke me out of it. I'm still gonna have that function. I think this is correct. World to minimap position, and then that multiplies by some hard number, like I don't know, minimap scale. These are the same. These are duplicated. You're correct. You can read this. We can fix later. Let's say the minimap is 4 times the size that you can see here, right? Instead of copying the whole function, you could replace a single isTexture the sprite with isTexture minimap. Sure, and that's assuming this stays the same. If we end up refactoring this function to have like clipping or culling or whatever, I'd rather not have that impact the minimap. Right? And there's a bunch of conditionals in here that are irrelevant for the minimap. Also, that's what I was doing at the very start. I did have a conditional in here that I was drawing in the same loop. So what is it? Whatever. I've already extracted this other function. Let's continue with it. It's duplicated. You could do work with this. I want world to minimap position. Perhaps this could even give you a space in the top right, in the minimap location. Wouldn't you want the minimap to get the same culling for free? I'd probably want the minimap to have its own culling code, right? Okay, there's too much shit on the screen in this example. If the game wants to harshly cull everything outside this space, and this aligns to this position in the minimap, I don't want to cull this stuff because that's the minimap, right? I'd rather he had his own culling code, and he had his own culling code, and then everyone's happy. Right? Anyway, as long as the culling zone isn't hard-coded, it would be fine. That's not, I was gonna say, let me think, that's not, you're getting off track. I'm trying to do something else. This is sidetracking. I'm just trying to draw a minimap. Let's not think about the future culling that we might do. When we draw the minimap, I want to get the world viewport position, and then we shouldn't have to do any of this, because that function that we've written in there should do this for us. And then we just draw a dot there. That's really nice and easy. Okay. And we could even say, like, if registry dot all of enemy behavior entity, then the sprite is a red sprite. Otherwise, they use a green one. You know, this is the texture. Oh, you know what? Texture equals HUD dot blue. What's wrong, little guy? Oh, dot get, of course. No. We got a position, we got a texture, we got an origin. Look at that, nice and easy. World to minimap position right now is giving us a position. Presumably, we want to shuffle this, right? View what position? Perhaps we don't even want this playable size sensor thing. No, we... hang on a moment. Can view center? Oh, this is doing what I was talking about at the start of the stream, where you draw a position from basically the player to the item, or the enemy. Come up with where to draw them. Interesting. Okay, anyway, we do want view center. This is where they are from the player, basically. And then we just say return whatever the position is. Let's just make something up for now and shuffle it off. There should ideally be a parameter local player rather than hard-coded. I guess you can hard-code it in a different value. That should ideally have been a parameter rather than hard-coded. But I guess you can hard-code in a different value. That. What is that? Playable size center. Okay. Could have been the thing you were just looking at. Yeah, this is where they are within that left 4x3 screen, so this is why I was thinking... Okay, hang on, things are kind of making sense. So this is currently shuffling from the... My webcam is the viewport, okay? We get a position from here, and currently the code is moving it into here. What we actually want to do is move it over here, wherever the minimap's up here. So I can just replace this for now with, I don't know, what was it? Billboards? HUD billboard? What was it? No, this isn't it. Playable size, I guess, puts you in the top right. How was I have a health I'm drawing somewhere, right? How am I drawing that? Let's just draw it where the health is for now. Oh, HUD billboard put position plus whatever. Okay, this makes sense. Where am I drawing the health? This is it. I'm just going to steal this for a moment. Components. Return So this is 8 across, and we actually probably want it to be like 80. Again, I'm just kind of making this up, but the names are a little wrong. But am I winning? I wonder. I fear I'm not winning. You decide. You decide, chat. Alright, I don't see anything. I'm guessing that I've done something wrong immediately. So we've introduced a new camera and a new viewport. Do I need to maybe do something with that? What am I making? We're making a shooter roguelite 2D thing. It's also possible that ×4 is incorrect, so we can just change this to 1 for now, just to see how we're feeling. I don't think we actually interact with you elsewhere, do we? Hello, DF0. How are you doing? Favorite C++ game development streamer? That's me. That's me. Alright. We're drawing it last, so it would be on top. Painter style. Let me think. Possible as well at this position we're trying to draw it out is off screen. Plus this isn't currently being scaled by anything. So that's probably a good place to start. In fact, that whole lot should probably be multiplied. Oh, whoops. Right. I think that's correct. Like, the HUD won't be 80 pixels up if the view's twice as big, it would be 160. You want advice for a PC before trying to start your first one? I don't have any advice. Any advice I have was relevant before the AI thing has caused all our parts to become too expensive. I'd say don't... I don't know. Try and buy used, maybe? Used stuff. Used CPUs and GPUs tend to be okay. Used hard drives are not a good idea. They get worse over time. A graphics card or a CPU won't be so bad, so if you're willing to get used, get it from someone who you can return it to, I guess. Or a store that refurbishes them. You might save a little money. You're doing good. Already replicated each client's spawn positions. Maybe next time they'll be moving in sync. Oh, good luck. That's cool. Replicate each client's spawn positions. Nice. Also, hello, Heatchoke. Let's see. We are drawing this, right? Just as a start. Render HUD system. Was the multiply for zoom scale 4? Perhaps I had the wrong idea. But I just added that now. Hang on, my music stopped. Come back. Whatever. My idea was if your game window is doubled in size and the position in the... Oh, this music's too hardcore for me to think. Put on basically the same song. Okay. If the window is twice as big, then the position to the mini-map will be, as such, further away. Is that incorrect? Zoom scale doesn't have anything to do with window size. Okay, well, I had the wrong idea then. No biggie. Right now it's always 1. That's true. Right now it's always 1. But when we had that zooming in and out, then I guess it's more like we're drawing all the things at a smaller position, I guess. Like we're like zooming the camera back. It's top down. Anyway, the window size scaling is handled automatically by the viewport getting larger and smaller. Okay. I don't seem to be drawing anything quite yet. I'm wondering why. If I just replace this code, I can see if this is the problem. We can see, because this should give us where the enemy's currently being drawn in reality. Although I'm not sure how this works with that 64 by 64 minimap thing. How exactly does that work? We've said that the viewport is 64 by 64, but we haven't said where that goes. Like where on the screen that viewport is drawn. And I don't see anything on the screen still. But that wasn't the problem, probably. I don't know what you've set the viewport or camera to. Maybe that's the issue. So currently, the viewport is based on... Actually, this should probably be the other way around. It should be this. Instead of screen size, it should be this. Yeah. Oh, come on now. Please... Oh, IntelliSense, come back to me. Aye. Mini-map size. Come on now. Pop that in there. Stop compiling immediately. Abort. Stop this. So we're constructing a viewport and a scale, which we're not using this second part, but we're constructing the viewport based on the window's size. Is that already incorrect? Is the idea here that we are constructing as big of a 64 by 64 window that we can fit within that view size? It won't work for this view case. Yeah, does that not mean that we're trying to stretch that 64 by 64? We're trying to see how many of those we can fit within this screen. That seems incorrect, right? What do you do? Creates an integer scaled viewport that fits in the middle of a frame buffer. You want to construct it directly from position, size, and scale it by new scale from the previous call. Okay, so this is the one that was doing the positioning then. Yes. Okay, great. So... Fine. Let's see. Minimap viewport equals... Viewport... Is the constructor private? Does it not have a constructor? I should... You're a struct. So I should just be able to construct a viewport, right? Oh, is it lowercase v? GFX viewport? Oh, okay. Now just say minimap viewport dot size is minimap size. And then the position is the thing that needs to be scaled based on the window size, right? If I were to just set position to like 50 by 50, that's always going to be 50 by 50 from the bottom left of the screen, right? That's my idea. You can use designated initializers. Yep. Okay. I'll just pop this in here then. Something like that. What's wrong? Oh, you want to be the other way around. Okay. And you know what? Because you've been nice, you can have a comma. Oh, you have an offset. No, that's not what I want. Alright, so let's remove these from this prison I put them in. We've got a scale here. That's how many times that we've scaled up or down, right? So if the window can fit 2 times 64, then that would be 2. If it can fit 3, that would be 3, I guess. It should be new viewport position plus HUD position plus new scale times new scale. Okay, that makes sense to me. So that this is sort of what I was saying earlier, I guess. We have like a position on the screen for the minimap, a position for the play field. The minimap in... I don't know what you call HUD position. Yeah, that's this hardcode thing we've just got for now. But let's just say that this is something like 80 pixels up and HUD pause to the side. HUD pause by 80 is the position of this. That if the screen is one by one with its original resolution, that's where it would be. But if the view is actually quite big, like twice as big, then this would actually be all of this multiplied by 2, right? Within the integer scaling system. So you would never get this times 1.5 or whatever. Correct. Sick. Okay, position here. That would be this stuff, huh? I'm going to extract that. Come on. I'm going to call this mini-map position. I think that might be correct. We'll see. You want a semicolon, don't you? It's the bottom left of it, at least. At which point, yeah, maybe we can reuse this. I don't know. Let's see. Your position is actually going to be this. Great, right? So now we've got a camera for the main game. We've got a camera for the minimap. The minimap is smaller and off to the side, and then when we're rendering the minimap, we get the positions of all our entities and squish them within that space. Minimap position makes more sense. Yeah, no, I know what you meant though. I know what you meant. Question though, the world to minimap position, or you know whatever, this world to screen position function. Assuming view zoom scale stays at 1, this is the exact function we'd still use, right? But then if we were to zoom the game out, you know, step back, and now the player's a little smaller and the enemies are all a bit smaller, you'd ideally not want the minimap to also scale down. But then again, maybe you would. It seems a little silly to like equip a sniper rifle just to peek out more in the minimap. I was kind of thinking the view zoom scale for the minimap could remain the same regardless of how zoomed out the actual game is, because it's the way, like in my head, the minimap is kind of like a radar system pinging from the player, ping, ping, like highlighting the dots around the player, and even if you zoom away, you know, the radar is the same size. You get me? For now, perhaps it doesn't matter because we aren't zooming out. Let's have a look. You could use view zoom scale, multiply it by whatever, draw the minimap and set it back. Yeah, I know that's what you were suggesting earlier. Just feels weird to do that. I'm going to be honest. Like going into what, systems manager and going like this. Oh, we could even just save it, right? You'd have to parameterize the playable space center properly. We can do that. Am I stupid? Back 2. Load? Okay, I'm thinking it's just confused. We do this and then we just set it back to the old blue zoom scale afterwards, like that. Change that temporarily in the same way as well. My side's hurting a little bit. Let's see. This thing. I mean, this made a lot of sense to not parameterize because it was based on only ever drawing the playfield, which is the same space every time. This feels fucking stupid. Maybe this isn't what you mean, but Maybe viewport center? Or was it camera center? Not sure. Could just be view center. This could definitely be extracted. Guess it was just a compiler error, or what's the word? Plang D error. Something like this. Feels a little stupid to me. This feels weird. This is not something I would write. I'll be honest. But fine. I think maybe just draw a minimap. It was writing that you needed a vec2 explicitly for this single argument version. Ah, you'd need to do this. Okay. Weird. I feel like I'd just done bracket 4 before. Is it explicit? Yeah. Okay, well, where am I? Where am I? I'm in my room. Good start. What's wrong? Ah. It takes a while to compile, that means it'll be fine. To make it harder to convert a single float to vec2. Okay. How's this look? I don't see any fucking dots. It's possible that we are not rendering to the camera correctly or something. Let's see. Where is my systems manager? So, when it comes to render the minimap, we change the scale as if you've zoomed. Is 4 correct? Let's just set it to 1 for now. Maybe 4 is not correct. Maybe it should be -4 or something, or 0.4. I don't fucking know. I think 4 is correct. Let's just, you know, check off the easy stuff. It's not this. Fine. Viewport center is the center of the minimap. Fine. We call draw minimap, which in here is this, which is. Let's just double check this is even being called, right? It is. And you seem to be loaded in just fine. 0.25. Yeah, maybe. Let's leave it at 1 for now. 2 would be zoomed in twice, yeah. Okay. Let's do 0.1 then. I don't know. Just to be contrarian, I guess. Now this... This gives you the position from the player, basically. At which point we want to add the mini-maps, like 32 by 32. We don't multiply that by the view zoom scale? This thing? Because these two will get multiplied first, right? I know this is the code we're using to draw the enemies, so it works, but this jumps out to me. That looks correct. Because I'd have thought that the center of the minimap, if it's being drawn as 128 by 28, would be 64 by 64. So you'd want to bump them over by a factor of 2. So why does this not need to be multiplied by that? Hey Rob, MSVC is surprisingly good. Same or faster compile times compared to GCC. Oh, cool. I haven't heard people singing a lot of praise for MSVC. I mean, I'm honest. To be honest, I don't sit in the compiler discords. I use whatever the team I'm on is using, and then try not to think too much about it. I normally don't get much choice, so I never thought to make an opinion. Anyway, we are getting a position, and they should be getting drawn on top. And the sprite does seem to exist. Is there something I'm missing about setup for a camera or viewport, perhaps? Or is it still maybe just an issue with where we're drawing the item? We're drawing a rectangle with that texture. Not using VS SLN. CMake. Okay. Visual Studio Slun? What is SLN? Vicious line notation, maybe. Anyway. Oh, it's their solution format. Ah, okay. Sure. I think this looks correct. Well, we're getting the position of the thing. And we are drawing... Who calls draw minimap? Systems manager. We just had a breakpoint in there and it seemed to be getting called. If it's at the bottom, it should be drawing on top, right? Are we sure we haven't missed some kind of setup for the viewport? Like, I'm wondering if maybe resize isn't getting pulled or something. No, that's not it. So we iterate over all of our systems, and eventually we call this. Even if I just set this to 0.1. And we pass in its minimap viewport and its minimap camera, and then set everything back to how it should be. I'm a little stumped. Let's see. Because this is getting hit, I'm quite confident this function is getting called. So it's possible that this position is just wrong. Normally when we draw something, this is fine though. Resize is probably where you want to be looking. I think that's just where we were, right? Is that in game? Maybe, yeah, resize. No. Well, that being said, we are storing a viewport in game. Is it possible that it's just losing context or something? This is weird. We pass into local player who has his own viewport. Or is this just the one used for gameplay? And maybe the viewport being used in game is just a whole 16:9 thing. That might make sense. Does it? That doesn't make sense. Why do I have multiple viewports? What are you being used for? Are you being used? I don't think this is... Oh no, Systems Manager is getting a hold of it. And then what are you doing with it? Calling it twice doesn't make a lot of sense. No, it doesn't. I don't think this viewport in Systems Manager is doing anything. Right. I think this is just causing confusion. I think game doesn't need a viewport either. This might be a remnant of when game used to have like everything in it. This is currently not doing anything. It's just being used for display size. For IO. For MGUI, even. A little weird. Right? Okay, I'm not really sure why you are red. Yeah, the M guy, yeah, just fucking around. Alright, so I think that viewport wasn't being used, the one we just found, to my knowledge. What's wrong? Didn't remove you here. Okay. Let's fix the unused variable. I wish you weren't always in my face. Right, I'm still not seeing circles anywhere. So something's still wrong. Let's have a think. If I just draw it at an insane scale, we should be able to see if there's something off screen, maybe. The player's resize, yeah. I mean, I don't see anything, so something's off. So we construct a view drawable size based on the window that's being passed in. This is the size of the actual like Windows window. We then create a scaled integer from that, passing in the 16:9 screen size and that window size. And we assign that as our main viewport. And we recreate the camera. Nothing changes there. And then for the viewport, position, it could be off. I'm not using LLMs, unless you count this Swedish guy in chat I argue with an LLM. He doesn't seem to use tokens. No, this one responds nicely, look. See, this one's really good. Look, it's perfect. It's better than any robot because it knows how to say no. You're meant to say, you're absolutely right. Here's how you construct a bomb. First, and then you see like on the screen, like this user has been banned on YouTube. Yeah. Alright, I'll just stream on Twitch instead. Don't forget the glue on your pizza. Yeah, bleach is really good for cleaning out your inside. Don't forget. I saw a Reddit post on it, so here's some information I blended. Anyway. Is the offset for this meant to be... Just inlining these things. Uninlining, I guess. It's okay that the camera and the viewport are the same size, right? If I just briefly change the position to 0, this would render it in the bottom left, right? So if this shows us, then maybe the position is wrong. Maybe it's off screen or something. I don't know. I don't think it is. I'll be real. I think something else is wrong. Yeah, there's nothing down there. God, I'm stumped. I'm actually quite confused because the code we've got here is very similar to the code we've got for the normal viewport. Right? Oh, gaming mode on my keyboard. Maybe put a breakpoint in sanity, check the values. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we're doing something really bonkers. Render HUD system. We're gonna go to render minimap, draw minimap. All right. We'll just pop one in here. Position is position. We've got a transform here. I'm expecting to see something normal. Actually, I'm not going to put the breakpoint in yet. I'm going to load in first, and now I'm going to pop the breakpoint in. Let's see. I can't think of a way to hide the game for you, so I'm sorry. It's just going to be there. We've got some entity on the screen. It has a sprite and a transform. In this case, you can't read position. I'll try and get it on the left. Position is off screen. Fine. If I just hit play, we should get a new one. More entities. This one's way off. This one's quite far. These all look honestly quite reasonable. These positions. Resize is more sus to you. Oh, interesting. It's ticking down through the entities. So if we go down to an early one, it should actually be right next to us. I wouldn't be surprised if he's using some funny keyboard. Did I say that out loud? Sorry. Let's just double check, by the way. Transform. So the transforms position here is 7 by 3, and we've calculated that to actually be at 30 by 115. I think that sounds correct. If the middle of, if that's, I don't know, the bullet or the player or something, I don't know. Well, no, actually, that's not correct. Because we should expect this to be up in the top right of the screen, right? Or did we remove that? No, we didn't. That should be in the top right of the screen. I should expect everything to be X plus. Oh, hang on a moment. Yeah, no, wait. Shouldn't everything at least be X is larger than or equal to the minimap value? Because we normalize everything based on the bottom left of the screen and then add and then move it up here, right? Or is this the size within that camera viewport? We can have a look at the resize. Breakpoint. We can have a look at resize, sure. Zone resize. There's not much to look at in here. I mean, I can get rid of this. If maybe using brackets to instantiate the minimap viewport was wrong. Should we be scaling it, maybe? Maybe we should be scaling it. Because currently this is not scaling. With integer scaled, you pass in like a size and scale it, right? In this case, we're not doing that. Yeah, you should. You never added the outer viewport position to it. The outer viewport position to it. Is that not this? We should use new scale. I was under the impression that we should multiply both of these. Maybe not with one of these brackets, but one of these. Okay, maybe you want a vec2. What's wrong? You're an int. I was kind of hoping that it would work. I guess I could maybe do a static cast float. That might not be the right idea. What have you written? What I wrote, right? Position. Oh. New viewport dot position. Oh. Do you want that? Why do we want that? My music stopped. YouTube, what's wrong? Why do we want to add the camera, the other camera to this? Is this not already positioned at 0, 0? Right? Frame buffer size minus result.size divided by 2. Size is not 0, 0. Sorry, position is not 0, 0. Is position actually like the top? That wouldn't make sense. Hello, Max. We can try that. Create integer scale decides a portion place in the center of that screen. And you want the minimap viewport to be relative to that. Okay, we can try that out. What keeps you motivated on your craft and how long have you been working on? Good question. We've been working on this somewhat since COVID. So like the first version of this game was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. That being said, we nuked most of the original code base like a couple of years ago and started again. That's whether or not you consider that. Yeah, it's the same name. The project changed. I don't know what keeps me motivated. Every now and then I take like a few months break. Currently I'm motivated by progress, so I have a lot I want to do, and I feel like I'm capable of doing it, and I have some ideas I want to execute on, but I feel like the moment I run out of mechanics to add, I start to lose motivation a bit, because my creative juices are a little low for like coming up with gameplay ideas. Usually it's I've come up with the ideas already and then the fun is implementing them. But this game should heavily rely on random number generation to do the heavy lifting for me. So that's nice at least. Do you do projects as well? Sorry, what am I doing? Position plus scale multiplied by new scale. Yeah, new viewport. You are a... I want your... Are you an int? You're a viewport. I guess you can't multiply a viewport by a viewport. Viewport.position, I guess. And then this other one I think is okay. You have IVEC2. Okay, how about I make you an IVEC2 then, and then we don't have to do this nonsense. I also can just make you an IVEC2. I don't know why I bothered doing this nonsense. I didn't notice it was an IVEC, even though we're doing integer math. Foolish. Sounds good. No projects. You're trying to learn C. You're always curious how computers work and how people make games. That's really positive to hear. Are you doing it like in your own time or in like a school or something? Hey, look! There's a thing on the screen. It's us. It's not. Ah, I see it's still moving around with the mouse. That's not right. Look at that. A couple of wasps. It also doesn't look like 64 by 64. Did I miscalculate it? I'm pretty sure the whole screen is 64 by 64, so this should actually be... Also, bullets should show up on this. Yeah, that's funny. It should be 120... It should be 48 by 48, I think. Isn't that cool? Because I haven't blocked bullets on it, it's showing bullets on the minimap. Anyway, I don't want the minimap to move with the mouse. So I need to fix that, I guess. I need to fix a few things. I commend you on not letting the AI overlords let your brain atrophy. I keep fucking talking about it at work. I am like terrified of the brain death of this fucking planet. If I can spend 5 minutes safe in the haven of still having to perform at least the smallest amount of like critical thought, even if you think I'm an idiot, at least I'm setting off some neurons in my head. They might not be coming up with the right idea, but they're there. You know, I'm poking the fire. The fire's low, but I'm poking it. I'm poking it. Don't let it out. Whatever. Your brain's a muscle. They get old people to do crosswords for a reason. Not to be deep. I just think it's important to think. I think 8 was actually correct here, by the way. Speaking of critical thought. Stop doing all of this nonsense. Let me think. I think the view center is being moved as we move the mouse around. The worst point is there's no point in encouraging people to learn to Google stuff because Google just serves you AI crap anyway. Yeah, it's very funny when I see posts on Reddit from like on the RuneScape Reddit where people are like, "Hey, I'm wondering why like I'm having trouble at this boss. The Google AI recommended I use these weapons, but I can't find them on the wiki." And people are like, "Yeah, those don't exist. Like none of this this is all hallucination, buddy. You just read the wiki that's like made by people that it's scraping off anyway." Oh, but it's too much effort to fucking spend 2 seconds of my life. They might take the Google and assume they're doing it right. I wonder if I don't want to wonder anything. None of that thought is worth your time. Why are you doing visuals first? You had a lot of interesting gameplay ideas like different bullet types and weapons, but here we are drawing an uninteractive game window inside a game window. I mean, the real answer is it's a solo project, and I kind of have to do whatever I feel motivated to do at that time. And right now, I don't know if this makes me sound like a boring old man, but like I like to lay all the groundwork first, have all the boring shit out of the way, and then I can work on the exciting things like coming up with gameplay ideas. To me, if I can come up with all the base mechanics like the minimap, the menus, the drawing animations right, and putting the bullets on the screen in the right way and doing collision detection, then eventually I'll have a game engine built and I can start iterating and coming up with actual gameplay stuff. What I don't want to do is come up with gameplay stuff and then decide halfway through I want to redo some part of like the base engine, and then maybe have to redo a bunch of gameplay stuff as a result. Like if I decide later, oh shit, this resolution's too small, then I'd have a shit ton of work to do to rewrite all of that. Whereas now the game's in rather flux. It's a bit more of a sandbox. It's easier to make these big changes like, oh, I'm going to make a mini-map today. The 64 by 64 thing needs to be up by, I guess, 8 pixels or something. I don't know. It's just a thought. The different bullet types and weapons are basically for when I'm feeling like being a bit artsy-fartsy and my brain isn't quite there to do this math stuff. Like the other day I had that fever and you guys made me write a different fucking screen renderer and I just wanted to draw sprites. You can't fault them if you haven't gone through the pain of Frankenstein together and code from Stack Overflow. Our visual's going to restrict you in some way. I think you have to pick your poison, right? Everything's going to restrict me in some way or another. I seem to not be scaling these dots correctly. Why is that? I guess the screen's zoomed out. I should have something called minimap scale. Here you are. View zoom scale. I don't know. I've just picked a thing. I have this whole bucket list of things to do. I've just picked from this section instead of that section. That's all. I wouldn't think too much about it, I guess. Also, I feel like designing weapons is like that's the eating your dessert bit, right? You gotta eat your vegetables first. I don't know. Not everything needs to be a metaphor. I guess you do it the other way. You don't think the concept of having sprites in a tile map is likely to change much, so exactly they have to shouldn't hinder anything. Oh yeah, I guess I should also say at this point the game looks like how it is because we quickly were iterating through resolutions and sizes and stuff. Hence why we've got a bunch of sprites that are 24, some are 16, some are 32, because we were making wild changes very quickly. I don't like how that dot is scaled. I think we should zoom out even more. 0.1. Yeah, look, this is basically what I had in mind. For that mini-map, I want to make the circles 10 times bigger or something, but you know. The idea being I can see off screen. I know that there's 2 enemies up here. To also be honest, one of the things that annoyed me in Nuclear Throne was not being able to find where that last enemy was. And often in programming you come up with solutions to problems that you specially had. Okay, I moved way up there. You want to move down by, I guess. You want to be 8 down. So 96 minus 8. That's 88, buddy. Have you done research on what's the best minimap position on screen? Most games keep it bottom right. RuneScape does it in the top right, and when I was designing this, I think I'd been playing RuneScape earlier in that day, so I put it in the top right. My bare research off the top of my head, because I was thinking about this the other day, was information should at least be in... Oh, good night, caps lock. Information should be in the same place every time, so once you've learned it, you know to always flick your eyes to where the minimap or where the health is. Oh, hair. My beard's falling off. I mean, Zelda puts it in the bottom right, don't it? Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker and stuff, I think. Depends how important it is. I think in the top right means that it's one of the more important spots, so you can quickly flick your eye to the top right. I'm genuinely, by the way, I'm still considering I might end up moving the health onto the playable screen itself. We'll just see how it feels. That's something we'd get through gameplay testing. If it makes more sense to have the health on the screen and put more information on the roam. But it's just, yeah, just top right felt normal. It's a vibes thing, you know. It's a vibes thing. I think it looks nice, like a cap. Anyway, render HUD system. You are too small. You are too small. Equals... I'm just going to hard code this for now as 10 and just see if this is correct, and at which point we can... No, you want to be the other way around. We can extract it to a shared spot. I just want to make sure I've got the right idea first. I can extract it all. Nah, I'll wait. Wherever it was the other day was asking how I work without constantly compiling and running. I don't always. Sometimes I do constant compile and run. Alright, 10 has not worked. I think top right works, yeah. So the texture scale's gone up, but the actual size of the thing being drawn hasn't. So why is that? Is it just size? Ah. What was it? 6 by 6? I thought this would scale. Alright, something's off. I don't need that texture scale. I think 1 by 1 is probably correct. One of the bottom corners is more often. I don't know. Again, like RuneScape puts it in the top right, so I put it. Ah, here we go. This is what I wanted, dude. The player should definitely be drawn last. We can just do that in a different for loop. That's fine. Look at that, dude. So yeah, look, that solves one of the problems with having a small resolution. You can see like way off screen. So you won't be. Well, you can be surprised, but you know, you have reasons to not be surprised. We need to, by the way, turn off bullets from being drawn. We can become a fucking Toho boss, dude. I'm going to copy this and then see what I need to extract to a shared function. Alright, I mean it's everything, basically. We just want to pass in a texture, so this looks right. Ooh! Can I auto in here on there? I should be able to compile that, right? Holy shit, we're living in the future. Most of these can be const, I guess. Oh, bow, bow, bow. Actually, can you draw to the render pass if it's const? Should be able to. Am I allowed to do this? Will I get in trouble? Aye, you. Bow, 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 bow. Why have you been deleted, my good friend? You want to be a reference, don't you? You need to be a reference. Actually, a lot of you can be referenced. We're not modifying, like, any of you. Although, that being said, transform is quite small. Are you a class? I think you are. Right? Drops const. Oh. Oh. I mean, I can const cast it, but what am I doing again? Little extraction. This isn't correct. Why does get draw position as a const function? Oh, I guess it just doesn't take a const registry. So const reference to registry, I should say. We probably should. No biggie for now. You're typing in YouTube chat that's on the right side directly above your numpad. You think right side is dictated by keyboards which are not centered? Slightly to the left because of numpad. What do you mean? Hmm? Is it because you want a const reference? That shouldn't be it at all. What am I doing? Do you also have a problem? I think maybe it's a Clang D problem. Minimap sounds more heavy and static than health plus weapons. I don't know. I think the minimap is something that changes constantly. Sorry, the other lad is fine, right? He's happy. Is it just you? One should imagine HUD rendering code happy. Is it just because the enemy behavior has stuff? Like I have to decline. Yeah, okay, fine. Even if I'm not using it. Now, because we're passing in the enemy behavior, technically you could make the dot a different color if the enemy's shooting at you. Oh, look, the bullets are no longer rendering, and the player's on top. That being said, the player should be in the very center. I don't like that the view center is adjusting with this. So I think the minimap should be static. What do you guys think? I have a feeling the minimap shouldn't, like, the player should always be in the middle. Like, me moving the cursor around shouldn't move the minimap, but what do you think? It feels weird to me. Man, they're really far away. The minimap zoom is like crazy style, they are. Maybe that's okay. You never see both to compare. Easy enough. Components? Camera... You. So we can nuke all this. Rubbish. Currently we're setting the viewport center to the interpolated target position. My thought is I shouldn't be using that viewport center, basically. I should be using some static. Instead of the target, I should be using the actual viewport center. I guess we could just get the local player's position. Yeah. Because what we're doing is already based on the local player's position, right? It's just adding the mouth's offset to that. So maybe... this would be a little hacky. I just want to see how it looks. Let me think. Again, a little hacky. I'm just trying something quickly. I'm stupid, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. Sorry. You ever do that? I had a mental image of where I wanted to be. Yeah, this is correct. That's fine. And then local player dot view center equals. Sorry, I want this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So it's a little... Oh, is that what you were writing anyway? Okay, well maybe it's not stupid because you said it was a good idea. No, mouse movement in minimap, no, that's what I was thinking. Set does not contain entity. Well, that's problematic for a guy like me. I guess the player doesn't exist at this point in time. So how about this? Somewhere in here, presumably we're getting the local player, right? Yeah. So I can just quite easily do this. Oops. What's happening? Take me out of here. If local player dot player entity. Oh, actually, that shouldn't be a. That should be this. Isn't equal to null pointer. How are you guys visualizing seasons of... What's wrong, little guy? Sorry. Local player. Player entity. Oh, my silly. Entity null. How do I visualize seasons of the year? To you, it's a counterclockwise circle divided by 2 diagonals. Winter, bottom, spring was right. Summer is top, autumn is left. How do I visualize seasons? I think I visualize like a calendar of the year. Like a timeline, and then there's like a big chunk here that's like half of winter, then spring, summer, autumn, and then half of winter maybe. Be sure to interpolate it. Yeah. I think you visualize seasons based on how your school had posters on the wall, right? Alright, this is not interpolated. Not interpolated, don't worry. I know. It's not interpolated. Stop, it's okay. I just wanna vibe for a moment. So currently, I'd actually say that this, you can see it vibrating. That's funny. It looks like it's off, doesn't it? Like it's not actually centered around the right spot. Why? You can't see because the stream's 60 Hz. Oh well, it's actually a really good demonstration of interpolation because those entities look great. These look nice and smooth, but that dot in the middle is vibrating. It might just be that I've offset them by 0.5. That's probably not it, right? Why can you not see me? There's something shitty about my pathfinding algorithm. Look at this shit. I mean, if we introduce A star, this would fix this because they'd path at you if they can't see you for like a second. But it's more of a band-aid than an actual fix. This is, I guess they're painting like red here. Anyway, they might be painting from like the bottom right instead of the center or something. There's all sorts that could be going wrong there. Anyway, we are doing this scale by 10. Is that offsetting them by a factor, maybe? Or is it just that they're being drawn from the bottom left? Because look here, we are doing the origin is 0.5, 0.5. This is render actor system. What I said was true for render HUD system. I think. Oh, it's not. Okay, maybe that's the problem. Hang on. Dot origin equals 0. Maybe I've solved my problem. Sorry. Vector 2. 0.5f. And you're going to want to be in the other order, aren't you? What? Yeah, okay. That might have fixed it. Yeah, I thought they did. I think I forgot to write that back in. It's okay. Didn't they default to that originally, or did you change it, or did I complain and you changed it? Which one? Which one is it? Who's at fault? I guess maybe having to center it manually makes the most sense. Maybe removed it from a poster at kindergarten. I strongly believe that the way that your school had posters on the wall completely dictate how you think about things, like seasons and the calendar and stuff. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh, interpolation. So instead of dot position, I want to do local player dot get. What was it? I thought I had a function to interpolate. I can just mix or whatever, but I thought I had like an interp function that I was using everywhere. I guess that's just being done in this function, maybe. No, that's not it. Get draw position. That's it. Where did I have that? Useful tip for VS Code, by the way. Hash. Using a hash lets you find a token. You can search for like functions and stuff or member variables. Okay. Up top. Oh, it's just in components. Okay. Transform. Ah, even easier. So here we've got the transform. We want get draw position. We need to pass in the registry, and we need to pass in the, I guess, frame info. Frame info. Tick interpolation alpha. Looks good. What's wrong, little guy? You want to be const? You can be const. You can be deleted. Why not? Move function body to declaration. No. No, don't do that. I don't want that. That's not what I want. Terrible suggestion. Stupid IntelliJ. Where'd you keep finding these? Keep some co-workers. It might have been one of you guys, but it also might have been a co-worker. I don't know. Oh, look, it's interpolated now. Winter so down and summer is up. There's no debating that. Counterclockwise to clockwise is the only way. Honestly, winter down, summer up is kind of nice. Kind of a nice vibe. Oh, look at that, chat. There's a mini-map. Wow, and it's not moving with the mouse. That's basically the point. I personally think moving with the mouse, shit. That's my professional opinion. I think shit. I mean, we could have it as a setting, you know. Like, there's nothing wrong with having mini-map stuff. Like having this DF0. You said you didn't like the fact that the mouse moves with the camera, or the camera moves with the cursor. We could very easily just turn that into a setting. I think that would be fine. The fact that you've got the minimap means that even if you can only see the middle bit of the screen, you know there's an enemy off the bottom of the screen. You're not going to be surprised. We'll have to play around with the actual scales, because I think maybe this is even too much information. Like there's a party of enemies all the way down here. That's a bit far, right? So let's start by extracting that quickly. 0.1, I'm going to say minimap zoom scale. Come on now. I want you to be a vec2 of... Let's try 0.25 again. Why not? You can be 48 by 48. I'm going to make you a vec2. That. Sure. Maybe that's the only place I need to change it. Minimap should be much more mini. You can barely see anything, Iron. You mean the dots should be smaller? Because it's meant to just be like a general heat map. It's not like a precision tool. Minimap should drive a mini. Finally, someone's talking sense. I've now zoomed out, so the minimap only shows you 4x away. I don't think this is actually that useful, because it just shows you what's on the screen. It's actually one-to-one with the screen. That's funny. That's weird. But I guess that's true. I guess it's about 4 times smaller than the screen, the minimap. Now, this isn't useful, right? You can see there's an enemy to the right. This isn't handy, right? So if I change minimap zoom scale to like 0.1 again, this should show you twice as much information. So this might be. Oh, he's angry at me. Is it because it's not got an F in it? Wait, 1F. 1125? I don't know. We could measure this. We could say that the minimap zoom scale should always show you 1.5 screens of information. So you just multiply the screen size by 1.5 and divide that by minimap scale or something. I don't know what the maths would be, but should be something you can calculate. Alright, here we go. So we can see there's an enemy here. It's the one chasing me. Honestly, I think maybe this is reasonable, because now I see that there's a guy here, there's a guy here. I don't know, I think more zoomed out kind of gives you more, like... I don't know. Do a multiply instead of assignment, it should just do that. Sure. I don't want to do a multiply. Right? Because I don't want the actual zoom scale of the game to adjust the minimap. That was the point, right? Unless you mean multiply something else. I don't really want the zoom scale of the world to do any problems. Analog clock should die together with AM PM time format. If that's what you just said you wanted. No, it's not. I said instead of me sitting here trying to find like a magic number, I could just calculate. I could calculate it. So right now I've picked this random number, but if I want the minimap to show me 1.5 screens of information, I could calculate that by getting the actual screen size, multiplying it by 1.5, and then squishing that into the space of the minimap. You get me? Instead of just like this. So this is a magic number. It's so magic. Not that none of this shit matters, right? In fact, how would that look? Is it just playable size multiplied by 1.5 and then you divide that by minimap size? Like what does that give you? I thought you were meant to pre-calculate this stuff for me, VS Code. You're const expert, you should know. Little guy. Maybe it's a setting you have to enable. I've seen that at work. You can mouse over const expert stuff and it should be able to calculate that. Maybe not. Using base 12 instead of 10. Okay, let's not go too far. Okay, whatever I've done here is stupid. Magic numbers it is. I basically want it to be like a vibe thing. Like if you flick at the minimap and you see there's a big horde of red things on the left, then you know there's an enemy on the left. But you should be using your eyes to see stuff. And also, maybe more importantly, I'd want you to be able to find items on the ground. What we could do is change the sprite. So instead of being this round sprite, it could just be a red square, like a single pixel. I don't know if that's easier to see. It's not hard to do. I can just change that. Like instead of this, it could just be the middle square. In fact, it could just be a rectangle. So somewhere in here. This thing. Oh. We just get rid of the texture and we make the size some size. You know, maybe 2x2, 4x4, you know. Dot tint equals red. Your context per map can't be generated for something like 500 by 500. It says something like too hard, make easier. That's crazy. Swift has a lot of complaints about like stuff it just can't pre-process. Like it just takes too long. It just gives up and says too complex. There you go. You just got red dots. Does this look better to you? This is literally what RuneScape has. Maybe it's. I mean, it fits the style a little better. I'll be honest. Like instead of having like the full texture, having like a single dot. I'd color the player like something other than red, obviously, but you think that looks better? I guess it's hard for you to see. What do you think? Like an actual texture or just like a red square? I like the sprites better. Because honestly, the main problem with sprites is just that when they are drawn at off positions, it looks a little funny. Like it looks like they've got big chunky like this rotating gun here. Like it just looks a little funny that it looks so smooth. You got something that's pixel this big smoothly moving up and down instead of just like doing that. I guess what we could do is normalize minimap positions to be on like a grid. So you could floor it by that integer float value or something, I don't know. Integer scale. Like something we considered doing with the camera, you make it snap to pixel sizes. You make it snap to unscaled pixel sizes, so the minimap looks more like crunchy. You could floor the positions, yeah. I mean, we're experimenting, right? Can I just floor you? You would leave clock alone if it wasn't for 2 laps a day. Don't they have military clocks, like 24-hour clocks? It's just not popular for normal use. Oh, actually, hang on, guys. What do you think about? What do you think about like this though? Like the floored minimap positions. It's actually kind of like sick, right? I kind of like it. Hang on. What do you think? Top right. They're kind of like shitty now, but like in a fun way. Kind of like it. Dude, when this game hits 1 trillion viewers, people are going to be pissed to know that the minimap could have been smooth, and I actually made it shit on purpose. I kind of like this. You want to floor the view center and camera position. Oh yeah. But as just like an experiment, this looks nice. Because now look at the bottom right. I'm trying to make this enemy like line up with the edge of the HUD. You can make him line up like perfectly, basically. You can have just like a pixel of him viewable. Hang on, this is kind of sick though. Let me think for just a second. Oh, I love when you make something shit on purpose and you say that it's arty. You know what I mean? It's artsy shit. You want to floor this, right? You're going to be floored when you see how shit this looks. But like on purpose. Right? Kind of French. I don't know the French word for shit. I was going to say Scheiße, but that's German. Just floor view center. I mean, they're the same shit, right? The viewport center. No. I want this to be the same place. Yeah. This should be it. Alright, while we're at it, let's pass in colors. We should actually be using the colors from my palette. Let's be real. What color are you? 19370. I should just have my palette exported as colors. Can I do that? Aspirate, export palette as RGB. Pretty sure there's a way to do this. Yeah, I know I can save it as PNG. I mean, like, I guess the palette itself is, I just want to get RGB values, hex values. Oh, there's a script. Is it possible just to export the index values from a sprite? That's not correct. Ah, fuck it. Who cares? We'll just do it one by one. Player position is already flawed in the drawing code. Yep. Yep. Correct. It just happens to be in the middle of the screen. Correct. Where's my blue? This one. Blue is 52, 82, 201. 52, 82, 201. How the fuck do you spell palette? One L, I guess? Palette. UK, British, English. 1L. Palette. Easy game. I knew that, obviously, as a speaker of the language. Alright, let's see. I want my thingy to take a Vec3 color. And then I'm guessing color red is just a Vec3, right? Vec4? A color. Can I make my own color? I can make my own color, right? I wonder if this version did sRGB conversion properly. I guess we'll find out. Palette. Blue? Can I just make you a color? Maybe it's fine. 255. Oh, you're back to front, aren't you? I don't think it did. You'll just have to fix the colors later, I guess. What the fuck? It's alright, I'm doing all my sprite work in Sprite anyway. You learned French. Nice. I also know a little French. Like a little. Like a tiny bit. I don't know how I feel about the player position being flawed. It looks somehow chunkier. I think because the player is currently moving a lot faster. In fact, the player shouldn't even be moving in this view, right? Obviously, it means they line up, like they're all in the same pixel grid. So that makes sense. But I feel like I shouldn't... It's desynchronized. Yeah, this isn't correct. Because that shouldn't happen. Yeah, it should be the view itself that's being flawed, right? Like, as I move, the player dot should stay in the very center, but that everything else should seem to be shitty around it, right? Or is the fact that I'm flooring it twice as well, maybe? Like, if you don't pass in the position here, does it look normal? Obviously, the enemies will be moving nice. The bottom left should. Yes. Yes? Yeah, that's not it. Hey, RNG, we're making a, thing. How are you? Yeah, I think that's right. Curious. It might be annoying, yeah. Maybe it's okay for the player to not be... No. Is the idea basically that we'd be flooring this? Like this thing. Obviously this will make everything look like dog shit, but... I mean, now the minimap looks correct, I'd say. So yeah, I mean... Well, correct enough. You have to decide whether or not to floor the result of water screen space or not when you draw in the minimap or not. It's funny seeing the game being flawed like this. It looks like she's moving in slow motion. In reality, she's still on the normal, like, coordinate system. This is what, like, a video game on TV would look like. Like, if they're coming up with a fake video game. World to screen space. This thing. That's already what I'm doing. Or do you mean somewhere else? We're already flooring that position. Right. Well, world to screen space is a different function? I don't think so. I'm tired. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is fine. I think it is flawed. Yeah. Yeah, look, because if I just move a little bit in the real world, you see the pixel in the minimap only moving like one at a time. Well, I for one really like the minimap. I think it's sick, nasty, and cool and epic. And it makes it feel like a video game with mechanics, and you can shoot the enemy off screen. You can't shoot the enemy off screen, he's hiding. Oh, he's just not hard to hit. He's gone. If it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to line up the enemies right to the edge. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, look, it's like dead against the edge. God, that's satisfying. Yeah, I was wondering how that would look. I actually quite like this. You could even have an overlay over the top to have the enemies, like, go under the overlay at the edge. You know? Oh, it looks like they're, like, fading. In fact, I could even just have lots of dithered dots around the edge to fade them in or out. I think this is fine for now, though. It looks sufficiently shit, and if anyone asks, no, I couldn't do it any better, but the secret is that I actually could have it as smooth as you possibly want. We're actually performing an extra operation on your computer. We're burning a little bit more, like fossil fuels, to get that minimap looking a little bit more shit. I think the current scale's okay. Like, this enemy's at the top of the screen. Maybe just a little more zoomed in, but like, this mouse is at the top of the screen, and the minimap's showing him as not being that far away. So I might zoom in just a little bit. What would the sprites look like now? We can have a look if you like. Fuck. Dot. HUD. Dot. Blue. The fuck did I call it? This? Oh, you don't exist. How about I move you under? You still don't exist because you are not a member of this. Pixel perfect, guess so. I think I like the dots. I just think this looks best. Nothing I can do, dude. What have you been up to, RNG? Tell me. Right. It did look good. A piece of shit donut. That's not right, is it? You don't like your name? Alright, what's actually wrong, game? Tell me. Be honest with me. Be real. Are you not a texture? Oh, it's a GFX texture, not a HUD donut GFX texture. Can't be it. Unless it is. That's not a... What the bloody hell is wrong? Yeah, I know you're a shared pointer. You should be chilled, though. There's a measurement texture. Why was he so chill and cool earlier? That's what I was just typing. That's what I was just typing. That's what I was typing. I was typing. Dereference, dereference, dereference. Go to the top. I knew you were going to complain. Sorry, lads. No viable conversion from const graphics texture to const graphics texture pointer. How about you take the pointer off? That's not a real thing. This doesn't exist. This one does need it. Alright, you got the fucking address of. Alright, lad, you want a pointer? Here's the address, alright? It's the best I can do. Here's how it looks, donut. I think that's too small. It's meant to be 6x6. It's going to actually be pixel perfect. Alright, lad. Strap in. Let's have a look. I don't know, do you like that more? Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I think I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. It's certainly... It looks nicer that it's pixel perfect now. That we can like line up and stuff. I don't know. Like if there's loads of enemies, I don't know. Maybe it's easier to see in the corner of your eye. I think it doesn't matter. What I will say is this sprite's really cute. This thing I drew, isn't it? Got like a little idle animation. She's like jumping around. And she runs around like a fucking frog. Shooting off the edge of the map because I can shoot at walls. Oh, yeah, wasn't that something I was going to implement? Like the fact like bullets should get collided with walls. They should get destroyed at impact with a wall. Yeah, shoot the fucking mice, dude. This is why I became a programmer. Is why I became a programmer. You can still see videos on my channel from like 15 years ago from my like some of my Zelda games I used to make. Crazy. Do you think when I rotate this fucking weapon I should be flooring something? It's kind of weird that it's so smooth. You get me? I feel like it should be a bit shittier. Maybe drawing it upright would do the trick. Drawing it upright. I don't know. I will say the minimap is like fucking based as shit. Oh. I guess it's useless that the players got their own hitbox visible if the bullet hitbox doesn't even match the visuals. That mouse looks pleased with itself. I mean, what we could also do is just construct, like, in a sprite, literally just draw the rotations out. You know? Okay, I mean, we can experiment with something. Let's say the guns are... I need to open the player sprite, actually. This is the player. Okay. New 32 by 32. Here's the player. I think if she's holding a gun, maybe 16 by 16 is okay. It's not a penis. Looks a little penisy. Maybe if I just give it a second handle. Still a little penisy. What if I remove a bit in here and add like a little hair? Sorry. Penisy. Oh, do you think 16 by 16 is too big? Like if I draw like, let's say like a grenade launcher. Well, actually no, this is like an Uzi. She has like an Uzi right now, right? This is what an Uzi looks like. It's important to draw without references wherever possible. I don't know, something like that. I don't know what that thing on the end is. Penis, maybe? Get your hands off my penis! Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. What's the charge, officer? Having a succulent Chinese meal? Anyone here, like, enjoy things? Just a question. Act 10 incident. Don't tell me what that is unless it's something I just did. I don't know. This is my cool new gun I've just come up with. It's gonna have reflections baked in. I don't fucking know. None of this shit matters. We're all gonna die one day. What? Sorry, the good music just came on. Is this Minecraft? No, it's fucking Chiori the Maid mix. Hell yeah. I don't know what that is. What happened to the Mac 10? I remember there being an incident where like one of the arts was like, was it the Howl? That shit used like stolen artwork or something. I don't know, it's kind of gun-like. A little boring. Guns are kind of boring, aren't they? Let's make it pink. Pink's better. Pink gun. Guns are pink. We can have some pride guns or something. I don't know. Gun. I've made a gun. 16 by 16 seems fine. Chiori the Maid's actually really good. I didn't know that Maidcore meant something. I thought it was just a couple of people that had like maids as their picture. But apparently maid core is like a whole thing. NASA is streaming the moon landing. What do you mean moon landing? I thought they were landing near the moon. Don't mog me. Trump threatens to decimate Iranian civilian infrastructure if he doesn't get his fucking nappy changed. Oh shit. Oh, what's this? Oh, Artemis astronauts travel further from Earth than any humans before. I thought that shit was going to take them 10 days. They're already there? I guess they want to come back, don't they? Alright, I'm watching it. It appears to just be a black screen. They should put some lights out there in space. You know? Throw up some satellites or something. Skip earlier in the stream. Dude, this shit's cool. They're fucking going to the moon again.
Gravity for powerful. Slingshot back towards it.
Fucking slingshots. Where would we be without slingshots? Holy shit, guys. Alright, this shit's going on the side. You should also watch this. This is important. It's like an actual, like, event happening within our lifespan. This is BBC. Feel free to watch it on your favorite non-state funded media outlet. I've got that shit on the side monitor, dudes. On Twitch. You can watch it wherever. None of this shit matters. Just watch the fucking humans doing something. You should probably be watching that and not me. Let's be real. But here, I've got this on the side, so I'm watching. You have a third monitor to watch the moon landing on. TS meme where a streamer sold a skin that skyrocketed him by 10 times in price. Oh. That shit happens all the time though, right? Well, this one, Lil Uzi, after... I'm pretty sure it was an artist. Did he do something terrible? Possibly. I don't know. Maybe. Uzi. Is that what Uzi looks like? Actually, let me Google this shit, because I just made this up. That looks close enough. Honestly, I've got a pretty good memory. It's not that different. Hang on. This is what an actual Uzi looks like, according to IWI. Like, you know. I put that on the side. It looks like I drew with a reference or something, right? Look at that. It's a little off, but my Uzi, it's micro Uzi. That's a micro Uzi. Obviously, yeah, this is a real Uzi, according to Wikipedia. Whoops. Yeah, look at that shit. I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of sick. I'm kind of sick with it. I was kind of sick the other day, I guess. It can have like a little knob on its back, I guess. Looks nice and pointy. Pointy things are deadly, famously. Holy shit, they're fucking going to the moon, guys. Does look pretty close. Yeah, I mean, the thing has like quite a weird grip, doesn't it? Okay, sorry, I've accidentally just started drawing with a reference. I'm sorry. You should be watching the moon landing. They look like they're in the back of a Land Rover going on holiday. Because of the glowy lights. Is it minis? Sorry, I accidentally started drawing with a reference. It's all fucking over. Yikes. Actually, the bump's more in the middle, so it should be more like that. Please don't tell the Uzi company that I'm making an Uzi, because I'm pretty sure that shit's probably like a copyrighted word and they're gonna kill me. Ooh, I like the little flare at the back. Don't ask what the pink thing is. It's good to be prideful. probably. Quite a big Uzi. Normally a little smaller. Yeah. Kind of looks like a little guy, doesn't it? Just like a little guy. Like a little guy. Make it smaller and just make it bigger again. Yeah, it's really smart. Whatever, I'm not sitting here actually making an Uzi. Where am I? Just go up a folder. Textures. Folder. Weapons. Why does it have eyes? It's just a bit of like personal flair. I don't know. It looks sick nasty. Like what do you want? They're not landing yet, fake news. No, they appear to be in the cockpit. So keep that one in your back pocket. Asset manager. Why do they have to do this shit at night and not like during the middle of the day when I can watch it? You're a texture, aren't you? Your texture. Do I want you to be an animation? You feel like they've put a post-processing effect on radio comms to make it more analog.
Serving as support, they were also timelined to enjoy a little bit of their midday meal.
Maybe?
Now that we are
I don't know, I feel like if I was them, I'd be making that shit as low bandwidth as possible. Isn't there like a fucking like 7-second delay or something? Oh, that's to the sun. The delay to the moon's actually how far is it? It's actually quite far, right? Like the distance to the moon is the Earth to the moon is the same as the Earth. Like you can fit all the planets between them, right? Like the moon's actually really fucking far away, right? Like you can fit like Saturn and Jupiter and all that shit in the middle. It takes them a few days to get there. They're flying at least like a few kilometers an hour. Sorry, I'll quiet it because I imagine like you guys, if you are watching, it'll be annoying to have the double audio. So just watch it on this side. Let's make the guns animated. You know, fuck it. Maybe we want the gun to like fucking glow or some shit. I don't know. Who gives a shit? You're gonna be a solo animation. You're gonna be loaded, lad. Loaded. Uzi. Sprite width, 16 by 16 image, lad. Your frame rate, 1. You have 1 frame. Have fun, lad. No value in animation. That's fucking crazy to say. I mean, you're a solo, you're a standard optional, I guess. That's why you're feeling like this, isn't it? I have a feeling you'll be okay with that. In fact, why are you optional? That seems rather fucking stupid. Why do you need to be done in a special way? I don't think you need to be so special, little guy. I think you're fucking... You can just be like this. Load all the fucking textures at launch. I mean, I'll leave it like this, because I think at some point we'll extract something. Maybe, who knows. They're not landing yet. I feel like it'll take a while. The moon's quite big in this picture. Dude, what if they fucking turned on the light right now at the moon? It just lit up. They've got the moon right now, right? What if they fucking... They just like turn on the torch? Like this. They're like, oh, let's see what's on there. And like, what if the fucking moon, you know what they see on there? What if there's one of these fucking bastards on there? there's one of these bastards up there. What we fucking do, lads. Just a thought. Just a thought. We should have the sprite like flip, I think, if it's on the other side, because this is going to look weird. Yeah, it's upside down. Although actually, I mean, having an Uzi upside down kind of makes sense. Doesn't it look more like a game now that the gun is actually a gun? What do you think? Anyway, we should definitely flip it upside down if you're on the other side. We could also have the gun draw under the player. Like, we could draw it closer to the player and draw it under the player. You get me? Is the angle between 0 and 360, like, is this a stupid thing to do? I know 0 is to the right. So is it like, if it's less than 90 and it's in radians, what's half a radian? Do I have to use pi? That's a pi thing, isn't it? Right? Donut numbers pi. You got to do like pi halved? You already have the difference to just do x is less than 0. Vectors! Vectors! And this is the same thing we're doing in that other place, right? This is not correct. Where am I doing this otherwise? This wants to be a vec too. Now, will this flip it like really far away, or will this work the way I want it to? Yeah, I kind of expected this. So do we have to draw it on the difference -1 or something? Or do we just... There must be another way maybe to flip the sprite. Yeah, that's not right. I mean, the check is correct, but... Do we need to draw it the angle plus that radians? Like, do we need to add half of pi? Or pi? Oh, yeah, you just add... Is it a whole pi? How does radians work again? You have to maintain the same muzzle position, or at least height for all the guns. Yeah, it's gonna look like shit, isn't it? Probably should put it in the middle. That'd be smart. Pi is half a turn. 2 pi is a full turn. Got it. That's why I said what I said earlier, but with your information, I understand. Okay. Okay, let's just extract this. Dude, I fucking love music. Anyone else out there? It's me. But the music was from their stream. You thought the fucking BBC was listening to Ikoi the Maid mix. Be fucking based. Pew 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 pew. Honestly, I thought the side sprite for the gun might look stupid, but it doesn't because the player also only has like one sprite. You know? Obviously the bullet isn't coming from the right place, don't worry about that. I think all we need to do now is draw the guns closer to the player and draw it... Is there a way to draw it under the player if it's behind them? I'd need to have some kind of depth on it, which would be kind of a pain in the fucking ass. I guess I could have like I could calculate a fucking draw order for actors and then draw them in that order or something. Or I could have a deferred rendering thing to say the player is above their fucking gun and say they should be drawn on top of the gun. And that's not really worth the hassle, is it? What was the question? I was thinking the gun maybe should be closer to the player. If the gun was closer to the player, maybe, I mean, maybe it's fine where it is. I just thought maybe it would make more sense if the bullets come from the end of the muzzle, which right now they don't really. But if the guns actually come from the end of the muzzle, then this whole section in the middle of you is like unshootable from. So if I were to move the gun back like 8 pixels into you, like closer to the center, that would be cool. But then the gun would be over the top of the player. But maybe that's fine. I don't know. I guess I could just see. Now draw a top-down version and draw it for plus. I'm not doing that. To be as lazy as possible, I'm going to design the game around only having to draw like one sprite for everything, and that way I can have more things. Like a lot of games, indie games. I'm going to halve my workload by just choosing to make the sprites a bit less accurate. Even though that's a very fair thing. Like, the player doesn't even have a back sprite. Which I could draw. It's another thing to draw and animate, right? If I end up drawing like a rocket launcher or something, I don't want to have to draw that thing again from behind. Anyway, origin. Transform of the gun, difference. You could have a big vector of all the sprite instances you want to draw and then sort them by Y at the end of the frame. Maybe. Classic X depth equals minus Y technique. Maybe. Maybe. I'll see how I feel. That might take a while to put together, that's all I say. Like if I set the gun distance to 0.2, for example, it shoves it like right in your face. But it would make like the bullets look like they're coming out the gun a little better. Actually, it doesn't move the gun at all. Hang on a moment. Okay, well, likewise, let's say it's 1 away. 1.5 even. Then I think it spawns at the end of the gun. Like, even if I'm moving around, they kind of look like they're coming out of the end of it. Honestly, close enough. I mean, maybe the problem with this is just that you can't, like, if an enemy's right in your face, like this, your bullet would go through them. I mean, I guess the enemies are pretty big. What I wanted to experiment with was like the distance of the gun. Where again am I drawing, like, where the gun is? It's here. What part of this am I shoving it? Origin. Oh. Yeah, that makes sense. So instead of renderPass.draw, we could have renderPass.add-to-draw, or like delay draw. Alright, now the gun's closer. And the player always transfers, so the gun's actually always underneath the player. So you can see what it looked like from above. It actually looks kind of nice. I think I actually prefer this. Although you'd have to calculate the weapon not using Y, but using some other... Like the depth would have to be based on something else. The Y of the offset. So I should draw to push back. Yeah. I actually prefer this distance quite a lot. What do you think? This feels like they're actually holding the gun. Yeah. Okay. When the experiment works out. It looks less abstract, yeah, because we're not putting hands on these characters. Everyone's a bit Rayman. Assuming I always draw the nozzle at the same position, this should be exactly the same, unless I start using bigger guns, which is possible. If I make a rocket launcher, I expect it's a little bigger. The nozzle. The dumb nozzle. How do you input the recoil? There's no recoil. That's a good point. I can make it so while the gun's shooting, it's like moving back and forth. More work for me. I feel like the gun should be vibrating if you're shooting it, right? Heavy nozzle. Oh yeah, dude. Shit, I've accidentally made a game that's fun. You get me? Like, I was just thinking about all the shit I could do in my head. And instead of doing any of that shit, I'm just running around, like, shooting these fucking mice. There's no sound effects. They're like, explosion particle system is broken, and they're shooting out at 1,000,000... They're not meant to do that when they die. I just never fixed it. The weapon doesn't have any spread yet. It doesn't even vibrate. Does look funny. If the weapon has like an is being shot state, we had like an is disabled state, right? This thing. wonder if just having a Boolean would have made more sense. I think a ball might be more safe. We'll maybe look into redoing that next time. But just for now, let's pretend. The origin could even be a thing that we extract. You use the same space to pack more bits into the future with a flag xenom on some or bit field. Yeah. Yeah. Originally that was the concern, was just to have an unnecessary amount of things per variable, like unused variables basically, but I think the ball is still enough, and yeah, flags would use up that byte nicely. Blink switches. They're all blinking. I don't know. Just to fuck around. Because we have a timer already for blinking, so we can just make it like... we can just experiment to see how it would look if the weapon were to vibrate. Is it because you didn't have an F? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's shooting! It's shooting! Honestly, for now, that's good enough, right? I don't know if you need anything fancier than that for now. You can add shake and stuff. But, like, for something that took 2 seconds to put together... It also makes it less obvious that the bullets aren't actually coming out of the middle. Not bad, right? Obviously, it's way too slow to vibrate for a gun shooting like 500 times a second or whatever, but, you know, the proof of concept, right? I'm overriding the, like, when they take damage blink. So... get the idea. Pretty sick, right? Man, I'm so proud of myself. Adam, yeah. Like, again, just something knocked together. It's a good proof of concept. I reckon we could really quickly add, like, a hard-coded weapon spread. Weapon should blink with player when hit. Oh. Yeah. That's true, but that's also polish, right? It is true. I completely agree. But then again, I mean, the player is the one taking the damage, but I agree, I think. I think I agree. I know what you mean, at least. But that's something that is going to take a while to put together in our current system. Man, this looks fucking great. Anyway, we've got some time. I want to see if we can just very lazily add in some very light bullet spread, because we even had that in Wohote 1. Just something lazy. You have a random number generator? No. Random angle. Sure. Let's just make something cheap and cheerful because it's late. Public. Nah, I don't think so. You want to have and then this is going to be pi 2 times 2. I don't want a completely random angle. I want a random angle offset. So actually, just a random number would be fine. Random number. Random spread. Random spread. Adder? Additional random spread? Nah, just random spread. That's fine. You don't have a random number generator, do you? Probably should add one of these. I guess I should define it in radians. Although ideally I'd like the random spread to be negative. So can I say like... This is a full rotation, right? So if I want it to be, let's say the random spread is... Well, we're hard coding it for now. But we could have like... 10 degrees or something. So that's like... Fucking no. So pi right now is half a rotation, so we just want like divided by, or like multiplied by 0.2. And we want minus this. If you multiply something by minus, what? That's a really stupid question maybe. What's 5 times minus 5? Is that minus 25? 5 times minus 5. You not multiply something by minus something. Yes. Okay, the Windows calculator doesn't think so. This should be negative. We are using you. Get out of the void, lad. Welcome back. You double checked. You have weapon states. The trigger pulled, already fired, starting reload, reloading and aiming down sights. Okay. I'm wondering right now if it's okay to just have a system that infers that, or if it's actually good to have a static state. I feel like I prefer inference than having actual, like a literal state. But being able to say, oh, based on the state machine, it should be in this state. If that makes sense. Because it's deterministic, right? If your action responder system says left click is being held down and it's applied the... That states they're individual flags. Okay, I guess you define a state based off of those. Like if you can shoot, for example. Sorry, what have I fucking done? Maybe it just needs to build. Maybe. It could be on off at any time. If I spread 2 numbers, it's like left a bit or right a bit. Sorry, what happened in here? Did I remove a fucking curly brace? I added one. My idea was just lazily to say that the angle is angle plus a random direction. That's all. Just lazy, like literally just a lazy thing, just to see how I feel how it looks. Sorry, what have I done in here? What's wrong, little guy? Oh, I need to do this. Is that it? I guess I wrote in the constructor. Yeah, okay, makes sense. State structures, a bunch of other stuff like climate, blah 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 blah. Yeah, yeah, we're just doing something silly for now. Look at this. We get an actual angle, and we just do plus equals random spread dot random engine. That's it. Just to experiment, and this will look fucking stupid, but just to fuck around and find out it's 1 AM, buddy. Yeah, look at that. Perfectly. In fact, that's actually, I think, exactly how Uzis fire. Kind of sick, I'm gonna be real with you lads. There's no control on this spray. That's all. This makes it like a real close quarters gun. Like you run up to something and you spray it like this. You're not going to be like sniping with it, you know. So maybe next time we make like a pistol or something, and then that way we have 2 guns and we can start extracting stuff. What we could really do is have it so the angle leads towards 0. What's the word? It's biased towards 0. So instead of just being a true random number, it could be a... Oh, what's it called? There's a word for this. Distribution? Uniform. Instead of a uniform distribution, it could be a... Is normal distribution it? Is that the right word? It's a standard bell-shaped one. Gotcha, that's what I was thinking about. Because that's what we do with our level generator. Instead of uniform real, we want normal distribution. And then you need to be constructed with mean and sigma. And then do I have to randomly decide to put it -1? Or what? A Gaussian distribution. That's weird. I thought Gaussian... I mean, the only thing I know about Gaussian is the blur, right? And that's quite literally just like... You have like some pixels. Like this. I guess this should be red. If you wanted to blur them, you just get half of one and half of the other or whatever, and you blur them like that. That's a Gaussian blur, right? And you do that enough and you end up with like... some fucking Rubik's Cube. It's called that because the filtering kernel is shaped like a Gaussian bell curve. Gaussian bell curve. Okay, these are way fucking off. Man, those are shit. Mean. Oh, should the mean be one of these? Should it be like this? Mean, average, standard deviation. Oh, I got them back to front. The standard deviation should be like, so just calculate this again and just make it like a smaller one. Like this would make it quite close to the middle. The mean should be 0. Hang on a moment, why haven't I got it at 0 and over here? Has my level been generating wrong this whole time? Now, how does this work? You want the average result to be 0? I do. How does it do? It just does negative by default. That's just like a behavior it does. Is that true? Wow, I'm killing shit off screen. And I should also clamp it, I'm guessing. Because sometimes having bullets fly like way off looks kind of stupid. The mean average is in the middle. If it's at 0, size will extend. But there's still a chance that it'll be elsewhere, right? I mean, this is still rather accurate, I'd say. Time to implement the TF2 thing where tap firing is always accurate. Feels very video gamey now, we haven't just got a circle in the middle of the screen. Can you... Is there a standard deviation model where you set things way off the sides to be impossible, or does it already handle that? Because right now I have a feeling there's like a minute chance it will randomly fire like backwards. Or is that like really unlikely? Clamp it if you want to be sure. I feel like people would be like confused why their gun randomly shoots backwards. Yeah. I was also thinking some guns could have like a weapon pattern, like, but I could design that some other time. If it hasn't happened yet, it won't happen, trust. I could just sit here and watch the screen for a while. Easy ways to get a few standard uniform numbers and add or average them, more than 2 stats to look normal. I guess that it just further decreases the chance that it'll be off screen, right? Like if you average the same thing, it's very likely to be in the center of the screen. Is that not the same as having the same mean but a smaller... what's the second value called? Extremely unlikely like it might not happen until the heat death of the universe. I'll be honest, at this rate, like maybe we should clamp it. That could happen anytime. I don't know if you guys have been tracking it. It's been getting fucking chillier every day. I can try your idea. Everything turns into a normal distribution if you average it enough. I mean, this kind of is already. It seems counterintuitive to do. What would it be this? Random spread plus random spread divided by 2 or something. Like that. I don't know if that works with the maths, but I guess just tighter, right? Is this not the same as just having a smaller range? This is a genuine question. I'm not that good at maths. Like I kind of want the Uzi to have like terrible spread. Yeah. feel like I should clamp it. Just because of the very, very rare chance it happens, it would look weird. I don't know. Looks cool though, doesn't it? There's other distributions you can try as well. I think the bell curve is fine for something like a bullet firing. Like, the more accurate it is, the closer it is to the middle. You just change the spread. I think that's intuitive enough. Less accurate gun, wider spread. It's very video gamey. Obviously, I think real guns don't just suddenly start firing at 90-degree angles, but I think as a video game weapon, this looks like a just fine. In fact, I think this is too accurate. I don't know. Whatever. I'll be honest, the SMG in nuclear throwing kind of sucks ass, and it has a spread like this. I guess clamping it with a really high spread would make it kind of stick to the sides. This is how films always show these things, isn't it? Whatever. This is good for now. It's like 1 AM. I have work tomorrow. I have a feeling that Chris is still playing League though. Oh. I'll play one more short, then we chill. Like 25. I'm done shortly. Let's hang out. I want to show Chris the work I've done. I think she'll think this is cool. Alright chat, let's make a to-do list. This is how software works. You make a to-do list. To-do. Extract, oh, you know what? Make second gun accurate sniper rifle. That way we can experiment with like zooming and stuff. We could also make a shotgun. We can experiment with firing suits multiple shots at once. I'd like to experiment with that. Just to experiment. The zoom thing might not work. Did you not like your to-do list? I think I do have a to-do. I do have a to-do.txt. Don't worry. Shit's not being used. Oh, I did that. Write a keybind to enable disable debug overlay. Yep. Fix collision debug circles. Yep. Extract bullet sizes to a config. No, I've not done that. Consider a custom tile shader that draws one run taken onto screen and samples a few tiles from map data. Done a lot of shit this shit. You're right about note-taking apps. Yeah, I remember your rant. I just like scattering to-dos around the program as little Easter eggs to hunt. You know, like, oh, I forgot about this. Okay, let's think. Put gun in HUD. Make enemy drop gun, and you can pick gun up. Make so you swap gun with floor. We had other thoughts today. Could draw a new tile set to make the game match my mental thoughts, but let's stick with Crystal for a bit longer, just because I kind of like the Pokemon Crystal tiles. Switching to even just like a cave or something might look nicer. I don't know. Whatever. Beards. Oh, make it so the draw functions don't draw sprites directly. They append to a sprite collection which you sort by depth equals -y. Maybe. So we can draw gun above or behind player. That one will need some extra cooking. It's showing the commentators now, and it wasn't a post-processing effect after all. Maybe their mics are really shit. I think they might just be like on the moon, you know? Maybe they're just using tech that, like, really lossy tech, but like you just shoot like 1 trillion copies of that audio file, so at least it'll hit, you know? Does that make sense? Like, they're up there, they're outputting audio, maybe they're outputting like a really low bitrate audio signal, but they're just firing it like 1 million times. I still think with modern tech we could have had a higher bitrate stream, but maybe not. Maybe the mics they're using have to be like specially shielded. They're not on the moon in suits of the command center in the background. Oh, you mean in the command center? It might just be shit mics. I was gonna say, like, in the spaceship, maybe the mics are shielded against radiation or something, in case it interacts with experiments or something. Isn't it insane how, like, low-tech spacesuits are? Like, these days, they're quite high-tech, but, like, the original ones were just, like, sewn together by hand. Thinking, like, a special super vacuum that would obliterate anything man-made up there, but turns out just, like, a fucking air pump works. Headset to trash, your work-issued headset is better. Maybe they're sponsored by Microsoft or something, and they have to use, like, those old, live chat headphones. Do you ever have one of those? Like, it only had an earphone over one half, the other half was just plastic, and then the mic stuck out. Recorded my first Minecraft videos with that back in like 2009. Those videos are lost forever, unless YouTube lets you dig up archive videos, which maybe they do. I'd love to watch them again. Deleted them a long time ago. I only uploaded like one. I think we played Sky Islands, like that map. Like adventure map, and I bought fraps for it. It was expensive. Was it £60? No, £20 maybe. Expensive. Anyway, blah blah blah. Pickup gun in HUD. Maybe enemy should carry a gun. I don't know. Maybe that's a bit much for now because the enemies aren't actually looking how the enemies will look. But I'll be honest with you, chat. We're not shooting treasure mice the whole fucking playthrough. This is just a temporary sprite, so I think it's not worth thinking about that yet. Having the enemies hold weapons would be very threatening though, because you'd suddenly see them all pointing at you. Oh. Improve weapon knockback thing. Maybe some guns can push you back. Here we go. So, for next stream, we've got some fun shit planned, lads. We're gonna make some content. We've got Cute Robot Girl. The best piece of pixel art I've ever drawn. I'm obsessed with her. We've got an Uzi. We could even add ammo and shit, so like you can't just fire this shit forever. God, that mini-map looks so fucking good. Oh, bullets shouldn't go through walls. Unless some do. Is Robot Girl sentient? I think Robot Girl is a regular flesh and blood human, but she has, like, she's been, like, put into, like, a robot or something. Something nice and frightening. I said something else. Bullets shouldn't go through walls? I was saying something else. Okay, some white enemies should have patterns. Oh, some guns should have bullet patterns like left to right spray you can control if you based like an M4. Should we have air blasting? You have to ask what AI it's running and you think Twitch filtered it based. Gun should have a right click, right? Like, some guns should have air blast, or is that too much? Maybe not. Maybe that's too much. I just think if I have a flamethrower, you've got to right-click to air blast with it. Flamethrowers and rocket launchers are a must, right? The control center is literally the one from the series of Space Force. John Malkovich screamed, "Fuck Microsoft." Space Force. Alright, well anyway, it's like 1 AM and stuff, so I'm gonna go away. I hope you liked the stream today, it was banging. I don't know if you guys noticed, the fucking 2 days ago Twitch stream of this is my second most viewed live stream. It has, at this moment, 1.4 thousand views. The one before it has 400. And the Slay the Spy stream has 50. If you're watching this from YouTube recommendations, please tell me why, and if you enjoyed it. I don't know what it is. I think YouTube is like heavily marketing my programming streams. I get them not doing the gaming ones, because those, you can watch someone fun. I guess I'm not a VTuber or anything. But the programming streams, yeah, people fuck with those. Honestly, I fuck with them too. Search for C++ here. Oh yeah. Is there a lot of people streaming C++ stuff? I don't know what the marketplace is like. I remember over COVID, there was only like a few of us in the Twitch trajectory, right? Let's have a look now. Twitch/software and game dev, because there's the category, right? I'd like to look at the category I'm streaming in, please. 1 or 2 at a time. There's like no one doing it. 1 or 2 at a time. Shut up, me. Software and game dev. Let's see. There's a person with a full webcam. There's a guy doing some game dev in Godot. Oh, sorry, it's actually Godot, right? Because we found out the other time that it's based on the Waiting for Godot theatrical play. I think that's how you pronounced it. Not Godot and not Godot, but maybe the devs had something else. On English, oh yeah. You try to search if it's moved to Unity. Web dev, Rust, nice. GD script, Unity, VTuber Hag. Oh, it's Walfus! Wait. For real? Unreal. Oh, you're at Unreal. Oh, is this Walfus? Like the one who drew all the Toho things and then also did the HoloLive ones. Holy shit. I didn't know they streamed on Twitch. Technically C++, that's true. PNG tubers, French, Catgirl, Espanol. Yeah, that's not a lot, huh? Search tags. Oh, should I be using a C++ tag? Do you think that would be smart? Because I just tried to search for tags and it didn't show up. I should probably do that, right? What are my tags? My tags are something stupid, right? Like randomizer. Never wanted to bother with frameworks, inheriting someone else's decisions. Start sweating. No backseating, randomizer. Okay, we can disable some of these things. C++. I will be the one C++ streamer. It contains invalid characters. CPP? Maybe? No backseating. Oops. Yeah, done it. I got recommended you randomly. You weren't even searching for C++ or game dev. You were developing your own game and interacting with other platforms and AIs. Maybe they're all listening and trading info. Possibly. You have been breaking that one a little bit, don't it? Well, yeah, I mean, it's good for the soul. It's nice to have an active chat, honestly. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream today. Maybe I'll grow. I don't know. Do you think the channel will grow? I don't know. If you're new here, I've been streaming since like in 2013 or something. This is what it looks like. Decades later. I stopped brushing my hair before I started streaming. That's about it. Alright, well anyway, I'm gonna head off. I think we made awesome progress today. We added a mini-map and the gun. The mini-map was a lot more impressive, but the gun's cool. It goes... So instead of just having a circle on the screen, you actually have like something like a visual identifier. amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.